Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good morning, depending on when you're watching this episode. Welcome to another adventurous episode of the Crusty podcast. Episode 316, Punish the Work. That's right. Reward idiocy as well. All this crap coming down from Stephen Guilbeault and, of course, our beloved Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. Tisk, tisk, tisk. More chaos on the way, ladies and gentlemen. Listener view discretion is advised because I will swear, smoke cigarettes, and maybe make so many faces. Who knows? Stick around.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthy.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues, and life. Here's Crusty.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This episode is brought to you in part by Veterans Freedom Network, VHV4F. That's right, Veterans Freedom Stand 2, and coming soon, Veterans for Freedom TV, all that and more exciting stuff. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Crusty. Sorry for my absence the past few days. It's been a little bit difficult, my work schedule, and when I get home around 6 o'clock at night, the last thing I want to do is record a podcast. Not that, I don't mind doing it for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's just, it's been really, really difficult. And I just get really, really effing tired. And if you like and hear to see, please click like, subscribe, share this podcast all around. Please consider donating too. Links will be in the description as you watch this video and listen to the podcast. So as the title card said, title card basically self-explanatory. Stephen Guilbeault wants to cap oil. And Justin Trudeau kind of admits that they made a mistake when it comes to the immigration policies that we've been dealing with the past couple of years. However, I'm just going to summarize this in one big statement. Idiocy. Pure bloody idiocy. You want to know why? Because it's self-explanatory, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to sit and dwell on the political endeavors. I'm not going to sit and worry about what's going on in the States with Trump. I'm not going to worry what the left has to say. We should be worrying what's going on here in Canada. Now, I'm all for immigration. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you want to do. I don't care how you do it. Do it well to the best of your ability. Just don't hit people, take their stuff. It's that simple. But when you look at the immigration policies that have been what we've been enamored with the past few years, it's just anybody can come in and do what they want. Okay. Now, you've heard me ramble on about being a libertarian and being classical liberal. You do you, I do me. I don't care. Do your thing, right? But with all the protests that have been going on the past year and a half, with all the outcries and outrages that have been going on, plaguing us, how many of these individuals are actual citizens of Canada or permanent residents of Canada? Something to think about, right? Now, I'm not trying to incur any kind of conspiracy theory here or trying to scare people, but let's be realistic when it comes to getting things done in this country. Now, North America, South America, okay, two continents of immigrants. When you think of it, historically speaking, immigrants. We've all come from someplace. We've all moved around someplace in our DNA, okay? And I'm not going to sit and beat a dead horse when it comes to who's the rightful heirs of this land or who's the rightful heirs of that land, because we as a human species have been dividing and conquering each other since the dawn of time. Okay. And I'm not going to sit and worry about who's more Canadian than the other or who's less Canadian than the other. What I'm going to worry about is that when you go into someone else's home, you respect their home. Okay. We've learned that. It's taken us a few hundred years. Okay. Colonization was not a perfect thing. It didn't matter if it was North America or South America or parts of Africa or parts of Asia. It doesn't matter. What I'm seeing and hearing, there's always these reports about protest here over this and protest here over that, about the rights of these students and the rights of these people here and the rights of those people here. How about the rights of Canadians as a whole? Okay. How about the rights of Canadians that pay taxes? How about the rights of Canadians that go to work every day to keep their lights on, put food in their fridge, look after their families, and go about their business as everybody else should? How about the Canadians that are actually trying to make a difference in this fiasco of the economy, in this fiasco of a government? Okay. I could sit here all day, and we've seen all the videos and other podcasters such as myself, other great video makers out there, other great creators out there, dissect everything that this Liberal government has done. Now, there's a little video on Justin Trudeau's page. Okay, I'm going to put the video in my description. I'm not going to play it for you because I just can't stand the sound of the man's arrogance when it comes to this, the policies. Now, he said somewhat in his video that there was some bad actors, some real bad actors when it comes to how the immigration policy went through. And in a way, they said they've made some mistakes. So there's the first step to admitting you're wrong. There's the first step right there. Okay. But it's not enough. Okay. Every immigration policy that has come to this country since the better part of 2017, when Justin Trudeau put out his infamous tweet saying you can come here because everyone was piling on Trump. Okay. Now Trump might be doing it when he becomes the official president come in January. But between now and then, Mr. Joe Biden is still the guy in charge somewhat. Right? So with that being said, I think we have to adopt some better policies. And I don't care if the prime minister says we're going to put a freeze on this or put a freeze on that. Actions speak louder than words. And his actions have spoke quite a bit. And at some point in this podcast, I'm going to play you a little video of him down in Brazil. I think it's the G20. Is it Brazil they're in or is it in Peru? I'm not sure. I don't know. I've lost track. But his recent little bleep about climate and all this stuff and priorities and all that. And you, my wonderful audience, I expect you to go about your business and decide accordingly. And what you think is the better part of his speech, right? We've been lied to long enough. We've been told many a thing when it comes to working hard in this country and the rewards. The harder I work, the more tax I pay. The harder my wife works, the more tax she pays. The harder my friends work, my family members work, the more taxes they pay. And yet you have individuals that come to country who, like Don Cherry said, love the milk and honey, but don't show any appreciation. Now, I'm not going to tell someone that you must be a Canadian and wave the flag that's behind me or on my head here. You can love this country. You can like this country. You can hate this country. If you hate it so much and it sucks, well, go elsewhere. No one's forced you to come. No one's forcing you to stay. And it's not racist to say that, ladies and gentlemen. It's realistic. I think a lot of us at one point in our teenage lives were told that by by our parents at one time. You don't like it? Leave it. You don't want to eat it? I guess you don't eat. You don't like living here? I guess you better get out. Right? And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's heard that. What do you guys think?
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
Anyway, carrying on with the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, episode 316, Punish the Work, Reward the Idiocy. So here's an example of the idiocy. This is Stephen Guilbeault, our environment minister, better known as the environmental activist that was elected. And I would like to just give a message out there to anyone who's listening to Stephen Guilbeault's riding, his little district there, okay? What were you people thinking when you elected him? What were you thinking when you selected him to represent your needs in Parliament? Okay? You've gone broke because of his party and his boss. People are losing their jobs. People are waiting in line in food banks. People are trying to get ahead to the best of their ability. And yet he's still talking about the importance of the cap on emissions in this country, the cap on how we have to stop all these emissions because of, the air pollution and the air quality of this country, right? He's the first one to scream to the heavens about the wildfires, and yet it was his office that did nothing about the Jasper incident when people in Jasper warned his office back in 2017 about a certain type of beetle that eats the nutrients of the tree and basically dries it out, which makes it basically just a flames haven, so to speak. Anyway, I'm going to play a little video on about Stephen Guilbeault here and how Daniel Smith, our premier, is going to deal with him. But just pay attention carefully. I'll put the captions on too, just in case you miss it. But I just see some of this idiocy coming from these clowns and their logic when it comes to actually trying to get something done in the name of what they think is progress, but it's just not progress. It's stagnance and it's ripping people off, and it's going to hurt a lot of Canadians. So listen to what Gilbo has to say, and then listen to what our Premier Daniel Smith has to say in rebuttal. It's just just a real poop show. But like I say, I'm not going to make you suck eggs here, ladies and gentlemen. You decide, right? But wow, I saw this speech and I was just like, oh, geez, what a silly, silly little man he is. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you guys decide. Okay.
And disinformation on the part of the conservative movement in Canada, whether it's Pierre Poilievre, whether it's Daniel Smith, whether it's Scott Moe, pretending that climate change isn't happening in the face of mounting climate impacts and dramatic impacts on the lives of Canadians, but also costs to the Canadian.
Dramatic impacts on life of Canadians. The most dramatic impact I can think of when it comes to the lives of Canadians is the fact that it's getting more and more expensive every day because of your bloody carbon tax. You silly little person, you. Fart in your general direction.
In economy, they will continue doing stupid things, and we will continue focusing on helping Canadians to create a robust economy, good jobs, and work to protect the environment.
You just said Daniel Smith and Scott Moe do, quote, stupid things, unquote. How confident are you that you can get Alberta and Saskatchewan to comply with these regulations, given that you just called them stupid?
I didn't call them stupid. I said they were doing stupid things. There's a difference, number one. And number two, I mean, it's not optional to comply with federal regulations. Provinces that will have to comply. It's the companies in those provinces that will have to comply.
You just said industry doesn't like regulations and that you've had some difficulty in the past. How confident are you that you can enforce these regulations and make sure that they comply?
Well, if facing difficulties was a criteria not to do something in our business, I don't know what we would do. Probably not a whole lot. Difficult things are difficult, and fighting climate change is difficult, and it takes political courage. And I'm proud to be part of a group of.
Yeah, fighting climate change is a difficult thing. Yes, difficult thing, ripping off the Canadian taxpayer and lying to them and instilling fear. Yeah, that's really difficult. I guess bullshit's really not your forte, moron.
People who believe strongly that we need to do that for the future of our kids and grandkids, for the future of jobs, for the future of the economy. This is the right thing to do.
In Ottawa, Minister Guilbeault said, let me pull up the quote, speaking about your government, they will continue doing stupid things and we will continue doing things to help Canadians. What is your response?
Absolutely not. He is not helping Canadians. He is harming Canadians. 150,000 job losses, the loss of production, which means the loss of revenue, not only for us, but for the rest of the country. An increase in cost on every family's budget to the tune of $419 per month, each and every month. This is not responsible policy. This is a vendetta. Like, he has a deranged vendetta against Alberta. It's very obvious. We've been watching it for some time. He's trying to find a way to get around what the Constitution says. He even acknowledged that they are not permitted to do a production cap because it is natural resources fall under provincial jurisdiction. Somehow he thinks he's going to sneak one in and we won't notice and the rest of the country won't notice. Well, we've noticed and we think the courts will notice. He cannot do this.
Yeah, exactly. Just some stupidity on Guilbeault's part. That's what happens, folks, when you elect an activist instead of a man who wants to lead or make a difference. The only difference that him and his party are making are robbing us effing blind. It's that simple. Okay. So while he sits there and talks about putting a cap on this, tap on that, how come he does not pay attention to what India is doing? How come he doesn't pay attention to what China is doing? Right? He makes it sound like that Canada is this big haven of pollution. And yet he's part of some kind of capital of firm. Now, I might save that for another episode, ladies and gentlemen, but he says he's a proud socialist. especially when he's using other people's money, and that's what he wants to do with his carbon tax and his great ideas. But all you gotta do sometimes is just shake your head and go, "Fuck, some people's kids."
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, if you like and hear what you see, please click like, subscribe, share this content all over your social media platforms too. And to my subscribers out there, please double check your subscription just to make sure you're still subscribed. Please give me some comments, give me some thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs, these things. That's right, Crusty. These things, right? Your game controllers, yeah. And give me comments, all that good stuff too. And please consider donating if you can, ladies and gentlemen. Donate at your leisure. There's some perks on my Buy Me a Coffee app. I will say that if you donate a consistent $3 a month, you'll be entered in a draw to win a hat from my store. That's right, a Crusty ball cap. And if you donate consistent $10 a month, you'll be entered to win a ball cap and a t-shirt. So it's kind of win-win. You help me out financially, and you get a chance to draw some free Crusty Canuck merchandise, ladies and gentlemen. So check that out on the Buy Me a Coffee page, and hope for the best. That's all I can say, ladies and gentlemen. Anyhow, more of this garbage with Guilbeault and with our Prime Minister. Now, of course, there was a video that was put out on Justin Trudeau's page. Like I said earlier, I am not going to put it up there because it's just more of his drivel, BS and drivel. It's a joke. I don't trust anything the man has to say. I don't trust what anybody in his party has to say in regards to the environment, in regards to security, in regards to immigration, in regards to anything. Because when you look back at the 2015 campaign, when he talked about sunny ways, and because it's 2015, having his 50-50 parity with his cabinet, and also having, some powerful women calling the shots that he basically destroyed because they wouldn't go along with his little game with the SNC-Lavalin issue and the health issues when the pandemic was going on. So I don't believe anything this party has to say in regards to looking after this nation, because they're basically interested in themselves, in their policies, and in their activism. They're not interested in the people, and they're definitely interested in the people in their ridings too. And that's why I sometimes wonder, to all the people that voted for Liberals the past 9 years, what are you thinking? Now, are the Conservatives going to do a better job once an election is called? It might take a couple of years to clean up the mess that Justin has left, because it took Harper a couple of years to clean up the Chrétien and Martin mess. Right? It took Brian Mulroney a few years after the, Pierre Elliott Trudeau mess, but it's just back and forth. The whole proverb about left wing, right wing, all in the same bird, right? But you decide, ladies and gentlemen. Anyhow, I'm going to play this little blurb from Justin when he was down. I guess he's still down there. I don't know, was it Brazil? I'm not sure. I lost track of all these G20s, G7 summits because it's just all bullshit, he talks this great game, but he fails to lace up and get in the corners and do some proper forechecking. I don't think he could forecheck if you actually paid him properly to do it. But this is from Twitter here, and I'll just start this again. He's just going on and on and on about the whole climate issue, and he doesn't really care. Thank you, Mr. Bruce McGonigal from X, putting this up. But even think of what's in the background: global citizens and all this other BS. This world elite and globalist BS. But just listen carefully. I can't put captions. Okay, I'll put the captions up here. Here we go. That's right. So we'll listen to a sock boy extraordinaire try to explain his way out of his own BS.
Understands, oh yes, we need to grow an economy and protect the environment at the same time. But when it comes to putting dollars in pockets for people, they don't want to hear about, if they just, pay a little more for an electric car, then that'll be protecting the environment. They can't pay a little more for an electric car right now. There's a sense that affordability is in direct contrast with our moral responsibility to protect the planet. And that is something that, unfortunately, people have been amplified and used propaganda, misinformation, disinformation, and flat out lies to scare people into saying, oh, no, we got to take care of our household budget and bottom line first, and environment second. And that's gone. Everyone sort of understands.
Okay, so you more or less heard him talk about how, families and money doesn't matter. We got to save the world. Yeah, I do want a clean planet, and I do want trees and rivers and nice campgrounds and nice lakes, but you're not going to do it by ripping people off. We've said this before. This has been said to the masses before, regardless. Now, I'd like to see another country that is charging the same tax as Canada. Anyone? Bueller? Not an effing chance, right? Like I mentioned earlier in the episode, you've got China, you've got India making one hell of a mess. China burns a lot of coal. And where does that coal come from? That's right. Land of the maple leaf. And who procures that deal? Stephen Guilbeault. I'm not going to sit here and talk about conspiracies or get in tune with, what Guilbeault did yesterday or 2 days ago. I just validated how much they're really full of shit and how they really don't give a shit about you or I or the policies and the outcome of these policies. Okay. No one can afford an electric vehicle because they start off around $55,000 to $60,000. And we don't have the grid to plug in all these cars and trucks in the name of the so-called climate catastrophe. Okay. Now, Christopher Freeland the other day mentioned something about nuclear. Oh, wow. That's something that Canadians have been talking about for a very, very long time. My friends at Northern Perspective, my friend at Radio Reaction, and other like-minded podcasters have been saying nuclear is the way to go when it comes to generating electricity and good, clean energy. And contrary to the myth, okay, they don't blow up like a nuclear bomb. They basically implode and encase it on themselves for the sake of safety reasons. You can thank the fine people at Candor Reactors, the people that design these things and build these things, right? There's a way they're built a certain way. So if something does happen, like an accident or another Chernobyl, it would enclose on itself and contain itself. So a proper cleanup crew can go in there and sort out the damages. Okay. But you don't hear about those benefits. You don't hear about that at all because they want you scared. Okay. And another thing, when it comes to fossil fuels in this country, the province of Quebec is sitting on quite a bit of natural gas. But the Legault government doesn't want anything to do with it or touch it or bother with it. And yet the Belle Province, last time I checked, was receiving $18 billion or more a year in equalization payments. So they're sitting on their own energy resource that they refuse to develop, but they don't mind getting paid from another energy resource from the other side of the country. But in the same time, they're calling it dirty oil. You see the contrast here? Now, whatever your personal belief is in regards to fossil fuels and keeping things warm, people forget that we live in Canada. And the average median temperature from January till about mid-March can be anywhere from minus 25 Celsius to minus 40 Celsius, with a wind chill, give or take 10 or 15 degrees. So you can have a one hell of a cold day, one hell of a cool day, and another cold day. And do you honestly think that electricity from turbines is going to fix the problem? Electricity gathered from solar panels is going to save your sorry butt? Heat pumps, they're only maybe workable to maybe minus 10 if you're lucky, which is harder on the grid because heat pumps work on the same principle as ACs. And how many times have we heard people say, don't leave your AC on all summer. Don't leave it on all day because it's like keeping a refrigerator going or plugging in your microwave over and over again because it sucks a lot of power. So we're not seeing viable or sensible solutions from these clowns. We are seeing nothing but word salad, hype, fear, and them taking more of your money. It's the perfect plan for a greedy guts, right? What are the commies thinking right now? Oh my God, capitalism is bad, but here, I have a wind turbine. Wow.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And you're back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 316, the Crusty Up podcast. Punish the work, reward idiocy. So when it comes to these rewards and rewarding the idiots, it's like people are giving these politicians the platform and letting him do it, letting him get away with it. And we're not asking the tough questions as we should. Now, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I do feel a sense of light coming out of this manufactured darkness. And I'm going to say this because of the victory of a certain individual down south from us. Okay. Policies are changing. Things are going to change. Now, is it going to benefit Canada? I don't know. Does Mr. Trump want to put 10% or more tariff on products? I don't know. I'd like to see a certain percentage that's going to help both of our countries. I would like to see certain trade incentives that are going to help both of our countries. But I also like to see some leadership up here, get some cojones and stand up for what's right. But we'll see come our next federal election. I don't know. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 18th of November. Some of you might be seeing this on the 19th. That's fine. Anyhow, I will try to get more episodes up in a timely fashion. It's just my work schedule has constantly made me busier. It seems like the more work I do, the more money I make, the more the government takes. Ain't that a bitch, eh? Ain't that just silly? Anyhow, enough of my rambling. So I'll try to get an episode up probably maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Don't hold your breath, but I'll be tinkering around and getting the words out there in a timely manner for you all. You know, just do what you can. You know, keep your chins up, all that good stuff. Thank you out there to some of the kind words I've had. My last video when I did vids on the fly. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. Round of applause for all this. Because you guys are so effing great and you're worth every show I do. Don't ever forget that. And secondly, thank you out there to some of my friends who said hello. Some people I haven't talked to in a while. You guys are awesome too. But like I say, stay tuned to my community page on the tube here. And you can also find these podcasts on Rumble and Facebook too. I load them up there. Every time I put one together, I make sure on those pages. And to my Facebook followers, please give me some comments too when you see a video up. Help the algorithm out here too. I'm actually getting to a point where I might get monetized on the FB. Who knows? Probably be just another tax grab. I don't know, but it gives me a chance to get out there and actually make some income, which I desperately need to make this podcast a little more substantial for you all out there. So think about donating. Like I said, links in the description. Click whatever link you want to donate. Please donate. If you can keep it consistent, even better too. Like I said, there's perks in my Buy Me a Coffee app, so check that out too. And all I can say is have a great night or a great day, ladies and gentlemen. And keep your chins up. Winter is coming, so brace yourselves for that. Get your vehicles all tuned up, ready for the winter season. Christmas is coming too, so think of those loved ones. You can afford it. If not, just do what you can during these trying times. Be good to each other to the best of your abilities. And like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Oh, yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
This has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.
Well, smack my ass and call me Judy.